Okay, we are just getting the live stream going, and as soon as it is live, I will give you the thumbs up to start.
Perfect. Awesome. Love it. I was born with the gift of gab, so I think I came out of the womb talking. So awesome,
Okay,
awesome.
Penny, we are ready to go. Let me hit record and you can start us off.
Perfect. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much. Whoever brought you to this call loves and cares about you, and they are trying to share things with you that nearly killed me last year. Just so you know a little bit about me, I grew up in a little small town of Cross Lanes, West Virginia. Always had big dreams and wanting to help people. And I tell you, this right here, I nearly died from what we are going to be talking to you about today. Now, this picture that I'm going to share with you as it comes up, this was me in February 26th of 2024. And I had no idea that I had insulin resistance. And I had so many signs of this, some belly fat, the skin tags. I was exhausted, chronic inflammation. I had fatty liver, unbeknownst to myself. My blood pressure was going up and cholesterol. I was a disaster. Within a month and a half, I was in the hospital and I nearly spent two months of my life. And I had promised God if I made it out, I was going to teach the world what I knew. And unbeknown to me, I didn't know how I was going to do that, but He always provides the way. This was to me in just about 3 months apart, if you look at this, on this protocol. And I just want to show you this. And it's not just going to be my story, but I want to introduce you to some other people that have been using this. And we're going to break this down. And you might be thinking, what is this guy talking about? What is this protocol that he keeps mentioning? And we're going to go into that with you. But first off, I want to introduce some friends of mine I've met through this. Otero, or Chopper, I should say, Otero, and his wife, Dee. And if you could just spotlight them for us, and I would
Yeah.
love to share with you.
Oh,
They have been
Chopper, perfect. I was
Chopper.
looking for
Yeah, I
the
called him. Yeah.
screen name. Perfect.
It's all good.
Chopper, what's up, man?
Good.
So, yeah, it's so nice to get to see you, brother. So, I mean, and I would like to start ladies first, Dee, if that's okay with you.
That's
She's
fine.
like, I'm going to kill this guy. But, Dee, honestly, I had a pleasure, of just speaking with you quickly earlier, but you've been on the protocol. I mean, what was your life like before you started this? And if you could just kind of update us now at how it's been for you and what
Sure.
you've noticed.
Okay. Well, I have to start off with I've been an educator for this is my 26th year, 21 years in California, 5 years here in Alabama. So we're in Madison, Alabama now. Um, I would say, well, number one, I haven't stopped. I had the whole school year that I taught last year. I was asked, "Hey, can you teach summer school?" I'm like, "Okay." And now I'm an administrator. I'm an assistant principal. So I haven't stopped. And being an educator, you come home exhausted. So I've just been going, going, going. Um, Tired, having to take naps was all the things that I always did. Moody, you know. Not I had patience for my kids at school, but sometimes, the family, they get the moody mom, right? What else? A lot of inflammation. I think I'm going through perimenopause. So, the belly fat, I blame it on having two children, but you know what? They're 18 and 21 now. So, but I've learned that it's probably insulin resistance. I can't get rid of it. I could work out, I could eat properly. It just, my weight wasn't going down. So now, I have so much energy. Like I walk down my halls at school and I'm beating some of those younger teachers. Um,
How long
I'm
have you
just
been on the protocol, by the way,
what,
Dee?
what
How
was
long have you
that?
been using? How long have you been using the
Um,
protocol?
I would say a month and a half,
Wow. Okay.
about 40 some days. And I'm just happier. Like I'm not moody. I'm happy. The brain fog has gone. Just mental clarity. It's just weird because it's almost like a euphoric feeling. Like there's no depression, there's no anxiety. Like I just feel happy. I feel good. I've lost 9 to 10 pounds since the beginning of the year. I would say about 5 pounds on the protocol, which I'm excited about. I can't wait, to see where it goes.
Clothes are probably
Um,
fitting different, right?
my clothes are fitting
Yeah.
different. Um,
How's your sleep been? Has that been better? Different? I hear that a
hey,
lot. Yeah.
listen, I could take naps like no other, but I do sleep better. I go to bed pretty early. I have to be up by 5. So I wake up about 5, so sleep through the night. Don't have to get up to use the bathroom. Um, all in all, I feel better. You know, prior to this, I was like, life cannot be like this. Why am I feeling this way? And now I'm like, I'm happy. Like, I'm excited. I just feel good. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm sure as a husband, there's nothing that makes us happier than when our wives feel better. That's for sure. Right? What do they say? My patients would always tell me, happy wife, happy life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, Chopper, man. Oh my God, you look different than just the last time I saw you, brother. Please, man.
All right, my name's Chopper Otero. I'm 49. I'm originally from California. I'm a retired fire captain. I work for Huntsville Fire Department now, but in the communication center. Um, Prior to the protocol, I was didn't get really good sleep. I was on melatonin just about every night, trying to regulate my sleep because I suffer from PTSD, also from the job. And honestly, this has been a game changer for that. Um, Pretty much those issues I was dealing with PTSD are pretty much subsided or gone. Um,
Wow.
and it's crazy. It's only been 43 days. I've lost 32 pounds. I sleep so good. Like I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't know how to explain it. The brain fog is gone. Um, I've noticed that I have the urge to work out now where I never did before. And that's huge to me. And the inflammation, there's none. Like the recovery is just like instant. So like we'll go play pickleball and I'll be diving on the floor like a retard. And
Ah,
Like
the
a
next
20-year
day
old.
I feel like I was gonna be like I'm gonna be hurt and I'm not gonna be able to get up out of bed and I'll spring right up and ready to go again. It's been awesome. I feel like a new person, and I think it's all to the protocol. Honestly, like I've never experienced anything like it.
well, you'd reach out to me too, and you were sharing with me about your eyesight too. I mean, I hear
Oh
this
yeah,
a lot with people, right? I
right.
mean, do you mind to share that? And like,
No, not at all.
you have diabetes, I think, too, right?
Yeah,
Or
I'm type 2 diabetic. I reversed it. My A1C is now 5.6. I was taking off metformin. And I was shared with Dr. Kenny this morning on a text that I came into work at 2:30 in the morning, and I was driving in. Normally, when I drive at night, I got to wear my glasses. And this morning, I didn't wear my glasses. I could see everything perfect. And I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, this is not normal for me. So I was like, all right, I can deal with this. I don't have to look like a goofball with these glasses on.
so in 43 days, you've dropped 32 pounds. Your inflammation is down. You're off metformin. You reversed your type 2 diabetes.
I work
And
out
an
again.
A1C usually takes 90 days. So you haven't even had a full 90 days and you've done this. This is things honestly that I hear all the time, and that is incredible. And I mean, how much different is your outlook on life when you now know? Like, I mean, when you feel like that, I mean, is it different? I mean, how how's your
It is,
relationship even
honestly.
right as a husband and wife? I mean, it's got to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I know when I feel better, I'm a lot nicer guy, right? So,
Yeah, right. No, not honestly, I can honestly say this has helped me be calm, more level headed, where before I would get irritated. I think a lot had to attribute to the PTSD. I didn't know how to deal with it the right way. And prior to all this, when I reached out to you, I watched a couple people do it, and it just didn't feel the same when I heard it from you. So you, I don't know how you explain everything. It just kind of broke it down to my level where I could understand it, where others don't. And I think that's a huge part of why I decided to try it, fell in love with it, and now I'm running with
I'm so proud of you guys, man. Keep it up. You're getting tons of love in the chat,
it.
and you know, you never know the story that you have, how it's going to shape someone else's life, you know,
Can I
and
mention something, Dr. Kenny?
please do.
Chopper's always been very skeptical about everything. Like I was always the one like, hey, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this. And he was just very skeptical about, like I said, everything that I would want to try. But this time he came to me and was like, hey, I found something. And I'm like, what is it? Let me see, you know? And so he showed me your video. I sat there for, some time watching it. And I was like, okay, let's go. Let's do it. What's it gonna hurt? So I love it. I
I'm
absolutely love
so
it.
so grateful you guys trusted me in that. But thank you, Brittany, for showing. This is
Ça
Chopper.
dépend de ce que tu reçois. Si tu reçois student loan.
I mean, Chopper, that was you. Like that's 43 days on this protocol, guys. That
Mhm.
is amazing, brother. I mean, you have to feel like a different human being. I know when I
Oh,
took
I do.
mine off, I feel like I'm in high school again, honestly. And I get texts like this from people like you, as many of us have every day. And I just, it melts my heart. And I thank you for sharing your story so others can learn. Thank you so much for being vulnerable.
No problem.
Now, if we can, I would love to have Chris Keithley also share at this point. And while Chris comes on, wait till you see this transformation. Chris, go ahead, please, brother. And then I'll share your before and after. I'll have Brittany do that. So,
All righty. All right. Well, my name's Chris, and I currently live in Tennessee, but I've had the blessing of kind of living all over the world. But when we came back to the United States, gained a lot of weight. And as I started gaining weight, I realized there were some issues. So when I teach people about giving their testimony, I tell them, say what your life was like before the event, how the event happened, and then how your life's been changed. So what was my life beforehand? Well, first of all, I couldn't go to the amusement parks because I couldn't ride any of the rides. I was too heavy. The seat belts wouldn't fit. I'd get on an airplane and have to ask for an extender. We would go to Texas Roadhouse and I would ask for a table because the booth was uncomfortable. A lot of embarrassment. But then it came to a head and went to the doctor. And he said, well, you have type 2 diabetes, you have sleep apnea, you have low testosterone, you have a lot of health issues. Here's your blood pressure med. Here's all these different meds. And I said to him, is there anything I can do outside taking all these meds? And he's like, no, this is kind of where you're at. And I like to research. So I just went home and started researching, and I got really excited. And I also got kind of angry and found Dr. Kenny on TikTok and started listening to others on TikTok and started researching. And I was like, it can't be this easy. So I started the protocol and started working on insulin resistance, not focusing on weight. But what happened was in 5.5 months, I lost 90 pounds. So it radically transformed my life. With that, I started wearing basically a little monitor that I could see my blood sugar. And I realized I was no longer even at pre-diabetes. And my blood pressure went down. I'm not using a sleep apnea machine. It has radically impacted my life. But what's awesome for me is not just that I have the energy and like they were saying, I enjoy going out and exercising now and things such as that, but being able to share with others. And I'm working currently with 5 pastors. And as I've been working with these pastors, the average pastor has lost over 20 pounds each month. And so it's not just, oh, Chris, you had this phenomenal situation. I'm seeing it happen over and over and over. So it's been an incredible blessing for me and for my family, but it's also a great blessing to be able to share it with other people as well.
it's crazy. Look at this before and after. You said that was 90 pounds, Chris?
I lost 90 pounds in 5.5 months. And I still have some to lose, and I'm still losing, but my first 90 pounds were 5.5 months.
Jeez, we see this all the time. But the thing that, it's like, I look at this and I'm like, well, what was your life going to be like? Like, who was the golden years going to be for? You or those companies, right? And there's just not a lot of options out there for people. And when I was in practice, I realized that people needed something simple and sustainable. And we're going to break this down. And it is honestly the simplest thing I've ever seen. If you can read, like you can do this, and like it's just that simple. But Chris, I'm so proud of you, and man, I mean, what a testament, what an example, and I'm sure that's got to feel amazing, and the confidence that you have to go share. I mean, just people are going to ask. I mean, it's crazy. In our company, we'll go through this if it makes sense to people, but you'll be able to see. People are going to ask you what you're doing. And our company rewards a coupon for sharing it like you did with these pastors to where they can get a better price to do what they see you doing, right? If it makes sense to you. So Chris, I'm just so proud of you, brother. Keep up the great work.
Well, it's been a blessing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And now we want to make this applicable. We want to bless you with some information, but more importantly that we want to make it applicable to your life, to your families. And Dr. Natasha is going to now present, and you're in for an absolute treat. She's a board certified pediatrician. Dr. Natasha, I just want to thank you for coming on here, Thanksgiving week, giving your time to do this for us. Thank you so much. You're such a blessing. And your transformation, if you don't mind, I'm gonna share that with Brittany so she can show it because you don't look like the same woman, by the way. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kenny. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen if you don't mind. See. Alrighty. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm not sure if you're able to see this, if you're able to see the presentation.
We don't see it just yet. Oh, there we go. We can
Okay,
see it.
perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Kenny, for this amazing introduction. And I would love to spend just a few minutes to share with you what is going on this week. This week is a very special week, as you know. It is the holidays. It's Thanksgiving, and a lot of us are experiencing a lot of stress surrounding the holidays. There's a lot of travel. There's meeting with family members and relatives, and there's just the holiday slump of all the extra food and indulgences. And stress has a actual biological effect on our body. It's not just feeling stressed, but everything that is occurring in your emotions actually affect your body as well. So I just want to spend a few minutes to discuss with you the stress loop that is keeping you sick and how we can end that loop, because as we're entering the holiday season, we need to have an action plan. And I want to show you how you can actually transmute all of that stress into something your body can use. And so, excuse me, sorry about that. One second. All right, so why this matters right now. There is actually a sad statistic that around the holidays, particularly between Christmas and New Year's, there's this Christmas holiday effect that occurs where studies show that there's an actual increase in cardiovascular events, that's heart attacks and strokes, that occur during the holidays and between Christmas and New Year's. And it's essentially happening because there's several factors that's accelerating what was already happening in the background. But unfortunately, during that week between Christmas and New Year's, things just fast forward a bit, and quite a few people, unfortunately, experience terrible morbidities and mortalities around the holidays. So stress doesn't just affect stress rewires your metabolism. It doesn't just affect your emotions. And we're going to be talking about things that you can do to transmute this. So, what does stress actually do inside of your body? So, there is a whole biochemical reaction that occurs when your body experiences a stressful situation or event. And it all happens from the brain down into your cells. And it starts with the hypothalamus, which activates something called the HPA axis, which is your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And that allows your body to secrete certain hormones that God put in there for stressful situations that are supposed to be short term and not long term. So essentially, you have hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline that flood your system after you experience a stressful situation, and your body responds as if it was wanting to run away from a bear or a saber-toothed tiger. And so your heart rate increases, your blood pressure increases, and even extra sugar is made available so that your body can use that as energy for your muscles to run away from that bear. So stress is useful when it is short term and for your survival. Unfortunately, that's not what most kind of stress that most of us experience. Most of us experience a chronic stress, which creates this metabolic cascade. What does it mean? So stress is meant to elevate and then de-escalate. That is what is normal in nature. That's what your animals do in nature. That's what even your house pets experience. I'm not sure where that's coming from. They experience stress, and it's supposed to go down, and your body is supposed to release all of this cortisol and adrenaline, and it goes back to baseline, which is normal. But when the chronic stress that we face due to the modern lifestyle in which we live, this cortisol and adrenaline stays chronically elevated instead of cycling naturally. Your body can handle a normal cycling of stress. It cannot handle a chronic rise of stress. So what happens? So as I mentioned to you, normally stress is released in response to a highly stressful situation, as when your life is in danger or due to an emotional experience, and that releases sugar, which is made in your liver, and whatever is available, it releases really quickly into your bloodstream so that your muscles can experience that surge in energy, so you can run away. As an example, I was walking in my neighborhood and I saw two dogs that were somehow out of their leash and they were running towards me. And I've never done this in my life. I didn't know I could do this, but there was a pickup truck in front of my neighbors and I literally jumped over that pickup truck without any, it's like as if I was a marionette and someone lifted me over. I didn't know that I had that ability, but I could do it at that moment because my stress activated really quickly. And that surge in energy allowed me to jump into that pickup truck to run away from these two dogs. And this is exactly what happens when mothers can lift cars to save their children. And so that kind of stress is extremely important. That, superpower strength that you get is important, but that sugar that gets released in chronic stress stays chronically elevated. It's like eating donuts every 2 minutes. And so it takes this, it allows the liver to release excess sugar, and the pancreas now overproduces insulin to try to keep that sugar down. So as you can see, this is a cascade that's it can be pretty dangerous after a few years. And so that leads to chronic inflammation and insulin dysregulation as well. And eventually that is when you get diagnosed with, diseases such as hypertension, abdominal weight gain, depression and anxiety, type 2 diabetes, and even heart disease, as I mentioned to you, which is actually worse around the holidays. And so, excuse me. So this is the holiday metabolic perfect storm. And so some of the triggers that you may experience this week and the weeks to come that can accelerate the stress signals is emotional stress from, all family has certain dynamics, and poor sleep because you have so many other obligations, you have social events, and you have family around, and it can disrupt your sleep as well. And of course, the food around the holidays is high sugar, high fat. And then, there's more indulgence. And also because, we're in daylight saving times now, the sun sets here at 5:30 here in Texas, which affects the mood as well. And less movement because, hey, you let yourself off the hook during the holidays. And of course, the holidays can also be a time of grief. And, when you're focusing on those who are not here with you any longer, it can be a high stressful, emotional stressful period as well. And so there's lots of factors that can increase the stress during the holidays. So again, it creates this vicious cycle of disrupted sleep patterns, which means that you're reducing the melatonin, which helps you sleep, and the rapid eye movement cycle. Your hunger hormones, which is ghrelin, increases while your hormone that tells your body that you're full decreases, which increases your cravings. So you're desiring more sugar and processed carbs, which again leads to overeating, elevated glucose and fat storage, worsening your insulin resistance, which all worsens your stress. So it creates this vicious loop. Excuse me. Don't know why. And so I would like to now go into the fact that not all stress is harmful. We just discussed that stress chronically, when it's over the time that your body needs to run away from a tiger, so to speak, can create a havoc in your body. But your body also does not want you to stay fragile. Your body thrives on a certain type of stress that is quick, short acting, low dose, and actually produces resilience and increases your lifespan. And this is something called hormetic stress. And so too many of us are experiencing chronic emotional and physiological stress, and we're not experiencing enough hormetic stress that actually increases your lifespan. And so some of this is some examples of hormetic stress is exposure to cold in the short term, such as cold showers or ice baths. When I learned about the benefits of ending your showers with cold water. I was living in South Korea at the time, and it was 2009. I've ended every single shower with cold water since 2009, and it's been an incredible experience. It literally activates my immune system. It helps me stay awake. I'm producing brown fat, which is very active fat. So I encourage you guys to start that. I know the winter season, the cold water is colder, but remember, this is short, very low dose stress that actually increases your lifespan. Also, high intensity interval training. It's actually better to do HIIT training rather than very, very long, prolonged exercises, which produces that chronic stress. Strength training is very, very good to improve your muscle and actually improves your sugar control, your glucose control, because your muscle is a great place for sugar to be stored. And in heat therapy, the opposite of cold therapy, sauna sessions, whether it's steam, dry, or infrared. I work out in heat whenever I do it because I started working out in infrared heat saunas, and so I continue to do that. And it improves my muscle, my resilience when I do work out. And then also intermittent fasting, which we'll discuss here in a little bit. Allowing your body digestive rest for 12 to 16 hours is one of the most amazing hormetic stresses you can give your body to actually reverse insulin resistance. And finally, breath work therapy, which works wonders for those who are suffering from chronic depression, anxiety, and even PTSD, as we discussed tonight. So all of those, it actually improves your mitochondrial function, improves your insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and enhances your stress tolerance. So not all stress is bad. Remember, it's the chronic stress that is harmful to your body, but short spurts of low dose stress can actually improve your lifespan. And so, real quick. And so these are the stresses that your body does not want. It's the chronic psychological stress, such as emotional strain without any relief. Say you have a boss that really gives you a lot of, issues and trouble, and every time you go to work, you're experiencing this chronic kind of tension in your chest. Your jaw is clenched. That's the kind of stress your body does not want. Constant digital stimulation, it can actually be pretty stressful because you're in this constant dopamine hit cycle, and you go through the doom scrolling session, you're watching the news, all of that contributes to stress when you're constantly on your screen. So doing a digital detox can be very helpful as well during the holidays. And another source of chronic stress, emotional stress, is when you're not dealing with your emotions, when you're pushing down emotional traumas, and you're not actually actively moving it out of your body. Emotions are energy in motion. It needs to move. And when it stays down into your body, unfortunately, it can create illness and stress, chronic stress as well. And so for those who like to, sweep things under the rug, it increases the risk of chronic physiological stress. And then, of course, no recovery window in between stressors as well. And so another personality type that experiences a lot of stress in their body are perfectionists and people pleasers, because we're continually self-sacrifice official, and we succumb to unrealistic standards. And so again, the outcome is that your body continues to lower its digestion, immune system goes down, your body stays in survival mode, and you are becoming insulin resistant. And so, what can you do this week to help with your stress as we go into the holiday season? Two things. You want to reduce your harmful stress, and you want to increase and do one hormetic stress activity safely. So, different things you can do to reduce your harmful stress. And these are things that I've had to do because I've experienced stress pretty much most of my life, going through medical school and residency, 24-hour calls, extreme stressors, taking exams, and it definitely wreaked havoc in my body. I experienced more infections, increase in weight, insulin resistance, and Dr. Kenny will show you the picture. And even though I tried to eat right and exercise, if I didn't deal with my stress, it would affect my sleep, which affected my appetite, and it was a vicious cycle. So past couple of years, I was very, very adamant in practicing mindfulness and meditation. And I also increased my prayer and spiritual connection. So this is something you can try as well. Breath work is something I started this year, actually, in the last couple of months, and it's been tremendous in releasing a lot of emotional turmoil that I've had stuck in my body. And this is something that I encourage you to try. And forgiveness is a huge thing. Some people, when they forgive and they let go of resentment, they actually lose a few pounds. Because again, holding on to resentment can hold on to so much inflammation, which lead to disease. And then gratitude journaling. This is something that I absolutely recommend for you all to adopt. I adopted it a long time ago, but I was inconsistent. And I started adopting it on a consistent basis every single night. Just 1 minute or 2 minutes of gratitude journaling every night before bed. And it actually shows me that I have more to be grateful for each day. The universe gives me more to be grateful for every single day. And then, of course, laughter, connection. Please throw on a comedic movie that will make you laugh, and whoever be around, make sure that there are people that improve your mood. And then, of course, boundaries around screens and around people who reduce of course, it's not always possible, but as much as you can, you want to protect your energy. And then finally, some hormetic stress things that you can do, just like me, try 30 seconds finishing your shower tomorrow morning with cold water. Don't do it at night. At night, you want to just do a warm shower to help you sleep. But in the morning, hot shower, but end it in cold water, or do a cold ice plunge if you can. And then I encourage you to do a 10-minute brisk walk after your meals that will help kind of soak up all of that excess glucose after you've eaten. And then, of course, that it also creates this kind of high intensity interval training that will help your body be more resilient and adaptable. And then choose your own sauna session, make it a spa day for yourself. And then we're going to talk more about the overnight fast. That you can do 14 to 16 hours, is make sure it's medically appropriate for you. And then I really recommend resistance and strength training as well. And so, as an aside, I really want you to know that the stress loop is real, but so is your ability to interrupt it. Your body can heal, and the whole point is not to reduce stress completely. There are some stressors that are very beneficial to your body, the short, low dose, but unfortunately, most of us are dealing with chronic stress. And I would like to give you a little meditation that you can fall asleep with tonight. Fall asleep in 12 minutes using this free meditation. Just download the QR code, and hopefully this will help you continue to decrease the practice or the effect of stress on your body. Sleep is super essential. So if you can implement a meditation every night before bed, as well as a gratitude practice, then you will thank your body. And if you'd like to connect with me, I do have a free weekly healthy newsletter, or health newsletter, excuse me, and it's on Substack. You can follow me there. And on TikTok, I am Dr. Tasha Heals. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Wow, Dr. Natasha, thank you so much. I mean, it's honestly a breath of fresh. Look at this woman. Like, I mean, you look even better now than what you did in that photo. And I remember when I first met you, I was so excited. I was drawn back by your energy, your love to help people, and you're just, I don't know how to explain you. I mean, you're so from the heart, and we really appreciate that. And I'm just so proud of you and honored to do and share with you. We need more healthcare professionals just like you, and so thank you so much. I mean, you are really just a true ray of light. Thank you. Now, I want to go in and Dr. Natasha, if you can, maybe we can have you answer a couple questions when I'm done. But I want to go through, you've heard us mention the protocol. You've heard Dr. Natasha speaking about, the fasting protocol, right? There is a massive problem out there, and I want to break this down and hopefully make this make sense. Because when I saw this, it changed my life forever. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, I nearly died from the very thing that I'm going to share with you. And once you see something, you can't unsee it. And 93% of Americans have this. 8 out of 10 don't know they have it. And I was one of those stubborn men. Maybe you have one of those in your household, right? And I had the belly fat. These are signs of insulin resistance. And if you have any of these, or if you know family and friends with these, put IR in the chat for insulin resistance. But I had the belly fat. I had skin tags. I didn't get the dark patches of skin yet, but I was starting to get a higher blood pressure and higher cholesterol panel. I would eat and I was exhausted. I would constantly get chronic joint pain. I couldn't sleep on my shoulder. I had sleep apnea, and I was peeing all the time. And it didn't matter. I needed a midday nap, and then I would eat and fall asleep. And it was just this, I couldn't stop thinking about food. Now, unbeknownst to me, you can have all of these warning signs, these billboards, these check engine lights all over your body, from adult acne to eczema, rosacea, psoriasis, showing up telling you that you're damaged. But you may not have any idea, because as you go to your doctor, what doctors do medically, they check your blood sugar levels. And what you need to understand, how many of you have been informed to eat every couple of hours? And I used to give this advice in my practice. You need to eat every 2 hours to keep your metabolism up. If you've been told that, put a 2 in the chat. And every time that we consume food, the food is converted into blood glucose, blood sugar, just like this little cube of sugar. And if you're eating every few hours, that's signaling to the body to make from the pancreas, to make insulin. So insulin is created to grab this and burn some of it, but insulin is our fat storing hormone. And insulin tells our body to store this energy while we have it. It tells the body to grow new tissue while we have it. But it also, as Dr. Natasha so eloquently pointed out, when a hormone is high, other ones have to drop. Now, this hormone shouldn't stay high all day. And so what happens is the other hormones that control your reproductive system start to decline. They decline, and so does your immune system capabilities. And maybe you're noticing that, well, your joints aren't healing like they once used to. Your joints hurt like mine did. These are all signs of insulin resistance. And when you have this for 15 to 20 years, well, you start to develop a condition. Once you finally lose control of your blood sugar, you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, if you look at a type 1 and type 2 diabetic, the only thing they have in common, they cannot control their blood sugar. A type 1 does not make insulin or enough insulin, and a type 2 made way too much insulin. And if you start to examine this and start to think, well, do these companies make money when you eat or when you don't? And so once you get diabetes, just so you know, this increases cardiovascular disease by 80%. That was Dr. Natasha's whole presentation. Dementia and Alzheimer's goes up 81%. They now call this diabetes type 3. I used to take care of so many people with neuropathy. I had no clue that was insulin resistance in the nerves. You start to gain weight. It starts to plug up the liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver out there, anyone? They're finding this in our 3-year-old kids today. High blood pressure, migraines, erectile dysfunction, and my wife had polycystic ovarian syndrome for nearly 20 years, all caused by insulin resistance. So I ask you right now, do you know 10 people struggling? And if you do, put 10 in the chat with diabetes, with blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues, weight, and cholesterol. So what is the solution? What is the protocol for that matter? Well, when I saw this, I honestly got very excited because I had not seen anything like this. Now, the physician's desk reference, this is where doctors like Dr. Natasha would prescribe drugs from. This is where nutraceuticals are found and drugs are found. You can look up side effects and every medication. This is kind of like the medical Bible, if you will. Now, the protocol that I'm going to share with you, these two products in the protocol are actually listed in the PDR.net. These are not supplements. And I'm sure Dr. Natasha can approve of this, but it's not that you don't approve of supplements. It's just they're not standardized. So as a clinician, she just doesn't have the understanding or faith of what people are getting. These, what I'm going to share with you, are nutraceuticals that are standardized, and you can look these up in that PDR.net. Now, there's 20 plus clinical studies on this. Places like the University of Sydney that created the glycemic index, the Cleveland Clinic, BYU, UNLV, Cornell, just to name a few. And these products are also HSA and FSA certified. Now, they're also, as I explained, nutraceuticals. We're in over 60 plus countries around the world, and it's patented. These cannot be copied. Each one of these also have a barcode on the back or a number system, and this is basically showing you that these are third-party verified and tested for herbicides, pesticides, mold, mildew, bacteria, and carcinogens. And it is so effective that it's actually guaranteed for 90 days. There's actually a free fasting app that you can track as you do this. And if you log 50% of that use, this is covered risk-free. When I saw those things, I was super excited to see what it would do for my health. Now, it costs around $5 a day. It's actually cost neutral. And if you're on the protocol, and you're saving money, would you put a $sign in the chat? Now, you might be thinking, come on, how can you pay $159 a month and save money? Well, here's what happens. Upon waking, you're going to take this chlorogenic acid tea that acts like a natural metformin. It keeps your blood sugar, as you can see down here, nice and low. And remember this, when blood sugar is low, insulin stays low. And when insulin is low, the fat has got to go. If you ask a diabetic, you can ask a doctor this, if blood sugar stays lower, do those patients need to inject more or less insulin? And so this protocol, when you wake up, your insulin levels are already low. There was a wonderful cereal company named Logs of Kellogg's. I make a joke, bad joke, sorry, but they taught us the most important meal of your day is break fast. It is. but you don't have to break fast when you wake up. Now, when you do this and use this system and sip on this tea in this bottle, it basically keeps your blood sugar very low and stable. It also stimulates your own GLP-1. Many of you may have heard of this. A GLP-1, well, those are the things people are injecting these days, but this stimulates your own with zero side effects and it boosts this by 70%. My food noise is completely gone, and maybe you've noticed this if you're on the protocol. When you get to lunch, if you're hungry, you eat, and well, that's going to raise your blood sugar. You broke your fast. Insulin will pull this back down naturally, just as it should. And then I had a lot of trouble with snacking before. If I saw food out, I had to grab it. I couldn't help it. I had to lick the bowl, grab a something. I make this second package and I put it in my bottle and I sip it and I make it hot or cold. And I don't even think about food. Now, when I get to my largest meal of the day, you're going to use this fiber matrix. Now, many of you probably heard of the Cleveland Clinic. Why would the Cleveland Clinic do a study on this fiber matrix? This fiber matrix is clinically proven to reduce your LDL, to reduce the triglycerides, to also increase your good HDL, to reduce A1C blood sugar, and to also reduce blood sugar spikes by nearly half, 43%. And that is the protocol. So the protocol is 2 teas and it's one fiber per day, and it costs about $5.30. It's less than a cup of coffee or equivalent to. Now, with that, if you're on this protocol and this protocol has improved your life in any fashion or way, would you please drop in the chat how the protocol has changed your life? And as we're doing that, I'm going to stop the screen share and I'm going to have Susan to please share her testimony. And as we're doing this and we're queuing Susan up, I'll read some of these. Oh my goodness. Luann's down 45 pounds. Her husband's down 60. Her heart palpitations are gone. Her blurred vision is gone. And her eye floaters are gone. Jimmy, reversed non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. His type 2 diabetes is gone. Blood pressure is back to normal. Sleep apnea is gone. Depression gone. Erectile dysfunction gone. I mean, if I was telling people this, I would get shut down. These are these people's stories. Keith, look at this. Saving buddy. Keith, let's see, lost weight, more improved focus for Leanne. Kathy, energy, sleep, no food noise. Cynthia, breaking her lifelong sugar addiction. I get you on that one because if it was sweet or salty, I didn't care. I was going to eat it. Losing weight, energy, depression symptoms are gone. Troy Hatch, after donating a kidney 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 chronic kidney disease 7 years later. After getting on the protocol, I reversed stage 4 chronic kidney disease, lost 23 pounds. Migraines are gone after 23 years stemming from a bicycle accident. His brain fog's gone, anxiety, depression. I mean, guys, there are so many in here. I can't even keep up with this. The reason I'm sharing this with you, this protocol is not on debate. It works, which is why it's guaranteed. But Susan, I would love for you to share. And then if there's any questions, we can stick around and answer a couple of questions. Dr. Natasha, if you're available and able to, I would love that.
Sure. I have reversed my type 2 diabetes. I used to have arthritis and osteoporosis. I had neuropathy in my feet, and I was overweight. In December of 2024, my A1C was 6.6, and in April of this past year, it was 5.3. I used to have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Now, I went to the eye doctor just like yesterday and had my eyes checked, and the doctor was like, "Whoa, what a change in your eyes." I had no more inflammation in my eyes. And she said, "This is unbelievable." And my eyes were so clear, and she sent me pictures of it because I asked. I wanted to show everybody. And I sent Dr. Kenny a thank you. And that just meant the world to me. I really, really am so thankful for you, Dr. Kenny, and for this protocol. So I have reversed everything. I'm off of all my meds.
You know, I remember, Susan, when we first had the conversation almost a year ago, I remember, I think, didn't you just have like a hip surgery or something, if memory serves?
Yes, I had had a truck accident in March of last year, and in December of last year, I had to have my hip replaced. Yes. And I was supposed to be out of work for 8 to 12 weeks. I was only out for 4.
And you were non like weight bearing. I mean, I don't think you could do PT, right? I mean, like it
Right,
was,
right. All I did was start walking, and I took care of myself. Yeah. Mhm.
and, Susan, has this been easy? I mean, like, how's the protocol been for you? I mean, is it sustainable? Is it simple? I mean,
It is so easy. I mean, you just put your water in and you tea and you just shake it when you want to, whenever you have a rumbly in your tummy and you crave something, you drink it. And before lunch, or I sometimes don't eat lunch, I just have dinner. Well, you put your fiber in first and then you eat. So, and I've lost 40 pounds.
I
Mhm.
wish I had a photo of you before and after. You like, I remember you sent me one, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, you probably, how many inches did you lose around your waist? I know your waistline shrank.
I don't know, but I sent you a recent picture. I don't know. It's crazy.
I am so proud. If you had somebody on the fence, Susan, I know because you kind of saw this. Like, isn't it crazy? You have to go on social media to learn this stuff, right? I mean, it's crazy. But I mean, like, what would you say to them?
Eh, Everything that I have already said. I mean, this protocol is just a blessing. I don't have to go to the pharmacy anymore. I don't see my doctor. I mean, eh, I've reversed everything. I'm off of all my meds. I just I just can't be more thankful.
And it was all through your doctor doing your blood work. It wasn't like, right? Like, I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
you were checking up, checking up.
Exactly.
They were like, there's nothing for us to, man, I am so proud of you. And you're getting a lot of love in the chat. And I just pray to God that your story helps someone else.
Well, thank
I
you.
look, this is so touching to me because I've lost two family members over the years on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And when Dr. Natasha and I spoke earlier, I was like, what about this? Let's talk about this and I had a friend of a friend last year, same thing on Christmas Day. And so I just recommend, guys, don't put your health off. We buy all these phones and all this stuff, and you've had how many bodies in your life? I mean, it's when you look at what this is, guys, this is a simple tea and fiber. It sounds ludicrous. It did to me, but it's transformed my life. I watch it change people like Susan every day. Susan, thank you so much for sharing. And if anyone has any questions, I mean, we've got a few minutes we can answer. And then some of you may be wondering, where can you get this if you want it? We'll share that with you as well. So, anybody got any questions for Dr. Natasha? Ask them once or twice, right? I'm putting her on the spot. She's going to shoot me later. Happy Thanksgiving, Kristen. So proud of you and your husband too. Awesome. Well, man, doesn't look like we have any questions. I'll leave it at this, Dr. Natasha. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate you doing this for us. Unbelievable. And your transformation is unbelievable and your energy. Thank you so much. And if someone is interested, if you're on this call, if you're watching this live stream on other platforms and you're interested, whoever cared enough to share this with you, get with them. They have a discount wholesale code that they can share with you. It's risk-free. There's an app that'll walk you through this process. This fasting app will help you if you're concerned about fasting. You don't even worry. Just wake up and sip the tea. Eat when you're hungry. I think you'll be pretty amazed, like my wife was, right? And just go with it. And if you're unhappy at the end of that 90 days, I tell people all the time, circle day 88, but prove me wrong. Use it properly, be consistent, and it will not let you down. Thank you so, so much, Dr. Natasha.
Sounds
Thank you.
like, sorry to interrupt. Sounds like Kim had a question. She says she's
Yeah, please.
vegetarian and she wanted to know any protein suggestions. Great question, Kim. I would suggest for you to start with things like tempeh and tofu and any legumes like lentils or beans. And you can, of course, there is a difference between vegetable protein or protein in that source and also meat-based proteins, but there are a lot of options. Just make sure that you're including at least 20 to 50 grams of protein per meal. But yeah, I would start with your favorite protein source. Like, I'm not sure if you like tofu or tempeh. Tempeh has the added benefit of being fermented as well, so it really helps with your gut. Someone also mentioned about skin tags. How can you get rid of skin tags? The beautiful thing about insulin resistance is that when you reverse it, you don't have to get surgery in your skin tags. They do fall off automatically. And there are lots and lots of examples of that. Can you take balance after a meal? So the benefit of the balance is that it's a complex fiber. You want to take it first before your meal because it creates this nice lattice and protects your body from experiencing the glucose surge. So the balance should be taken before your meal and at the very least as you're taking your meal, not after. And because the fiber protects your body from that glucose spike. Hormones returning to normal after the protocol for an extended time. So yes, when your insulin is improved and normalized, it actually improves all your other hormones, including cortisol and thyroid and melatonin. All your other hormones improve as well, including the sex hormones. So it actually is a huge, a major lifesaver for those with PCOS and erectile dysfunction, as we spoke about.
I know, too, Dr. Natasha, I forgot to ask, but Dee, I know she told me her hormones have totally reset. And I meant mine too, testosterone wise. I feel like I'm in high school. It's awesome. So, yeah, crazy. Sorry, it's probably too much information, but
That's what the guys want. They want the honesty.
absolutely right.
Someone asked, do you have to be a member to buy? You don't have to be a member. You can buy month per month, but it does save you more money if you're a member and you get free shipping as well. So you can start a subscription and you can cancel that anytime. Any other questions? Am I missing anything? Is it normal to not lose weight? So weight loss is a side effect of improving your insulin resistance. So everyone who has weight to lose will eventually lose it, but it's the time frame in which they lose it that changes. And so remember, this is mainly a protocol to help balance your hormones and insulin resistance. Some people are normal or underweight and they're insulin resistant. And so they're not losing a lot of weight, they're losing some visceral fat. But everyone eventually, once you're consistent, if you have weight to lose, when you lower your insulin resistance, your fat has to fall off as well. And so if you're not, and you've been on it for a couple months, there could be some tweaks you have to do with your actual macros.
Hey,
And
Dr. Natasha, I can show somebody this.
yes,
This may help too, right? This is George, and we call this gentleman maple syrup Vila. So to go right along with Dr. Natasha was showing, George had, Dr. Natasha, you're probably going to pass out when you hear this, but George's A1C was 18.1. His fasting blood sugar at 2 p.m. was 834. He thought, I'm going to fast longer and my numbers will be better. God only knows where they'd have been earlier in the morning. In 107 days, George dropped to 7.2 A1C, still diabetic. His fasting blood sugar was 90, but he dropped 14 inches off his waist at 73 years young, and he added 9 pounds on the scale. And the reason I say that is Dr. Natasha was saying they also know that when you fast, you increase human growth hormone and testosterone. So you will actually start to build muscle more, and your body will actually become muscles denser, takes up less space. So a lot of times people are so focused on what they weigh, but if you look at how your clothes are lying, is your joint pain gone, mental clarity? These are signs that Dr. Natasha was talking about lowering inflammation on the body because you're burning fat. And so don't go so much by how much you weigh, people. Go by your metabolism. Is your body shifting? These are things, and salt's an important factor. I'm sure, Dr. Natasha, you can speak on that if you get the right salts, right? Like, so if you're hungry when you're doing this, you're probably craving minerals. Try to take some Himalayan salt, some Celtic salt, some Baja salt, just a couple pinches, like when you feel hungry first thing in the morning. And that makes a tremendous difference with fasting too. So
thank you.
hope
Thank
that
you.
helps. Thank you. Now
Let's
we're
see.
getting all kinds of questions. We tell them we got 5 minutes.
Oh gosh. Vicky asked if you don't show any insulin resistance and you don't need to lose weight, do you need to use a protocol? So the great thing about this protocol is that even with a perfect diet and you meditate all day long, with the current modern stressors that we're dealing with, we all need something to help prevent us from getting, it's not if you have resistance is when you're going to get it. And so this is definitely a way to keep your system in balance and in check. And so, and again, a lot of people who say they don't have insulin resistance, unless you have like your fasting insulin levels or, and again, there are 7% of the United States that do not have it of adults. But for the most part, most people have some level. It exists on a spectrum. So you may not have severe insulin resistance or diabetes or a diagnosis, but everyone has a little bit of inflammation or some level of hormonal imbalance that can make a huge difference. And so a lot of people, when they take it, they're bodybuilders, they're exercise enthusiasts, and they're like, wow, look, I gain even better, more muscle mass and mental clarity and brain fog is gone and all of those things. So try it even if you don't think you need it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll be amazed.
No, the cold shower will not put you in shock, Corey. It's literally just, as make sure it's safe for you. So maybe you have to speak to your doctor. But you're not, it's cold showers, turn to the cold water. And so it's just 30 seconds, 15 seconds, up to a minute. And it doesn't actually put your body into shock. Your body can actually handle it, especially if you're taking deep restorative breaths while you do so. Your body can handle more than you think, but definitely check with your doctor. Let's see. How will my skinny diabetic friends benefit? So skinny fat is a thing. And so just because they're skinny doesn't mean they don't have a risk for cardiovascular disease. And so their fat is hiding around their organs, just not around their thighs, their arms, their legs. And so the fat around your thighs, your arms, your legs, your buttocks is not the fat that's metabolically active. That fat does not harm you. It's actually almost protective. It's the fat that's around your liver, your organs that's the dangerous fat. And so if they're diabetic, that shows that they have a hormonal imbalance in insulin and they would absolutely benefit. In fact, they're the ones that, usually ignore all the other health, promotions because they think they're fine because they look fine. But it's not, 40% of people who are normal weight are actually insulin resistant, and 80% of those who are overweight are insulin resistant. Anything else?
All right, we got a couple minutes. I want to be respectful of Dr. Natasha's time.
Fine, I don't mind. Says, would one fast if they don't need to lose weight? We did the triglyceride HDL showing he is not. He's not what? Insulin resistant or so again, it's so much so I'm not sure if you mean like he's not insulin resistant based on the triglyceride HDL ratio. But again, if you feel like you don't need to fast and fasting is not for everyone, definitely taking the protocol would still be extremely beneficial. So we don't recommend rather pregnant women, lactating women, children to fast, and they still benefit quite a bit from this as well.
Your body heals when you're not eating food. So if you're not digesting food, the hormones for your immune system and reproductive system reboot.
Exactly.
So that's most people think that you heal when you sleep, and you do, but you actually heal when you're not eating. So, but they don't make money when you ain't eating. Just thought for you guys.
Any other questions?
Awesome. Well, Dr. Natasha, thank you. And everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Whoever brought you to this call, get with them. They've got a discount code they can provide you. You can try it risk-free. And if you're consistent, use it properly, it will not let you down. What if this is the answer to you and your family's health? Dr. Natasha, thank you so much. Brittany, thank you. Thank you, Susan, Chopper, Dee, and Chris. Thank you so much for sharing your testimony.